How's it going, you fealty people? You hope you're having a good day and hope you're ready for another video. That's right, we're doing the not a review of Fortnite Chapter 2, and I'm also going to talk about some of the stuff that's happened in Fortnite, especially with the pro players from before, because I feel like it needs to be talked about going into Chapter 2 with what's going on in Chapter 2 and everything that's kind of going on and happening. It has to be talked about, it has to be discussed, and it has to be remembered, because going forward, I think it's good to look at where you've been, where you're going, and all that jazz. So as I always say, though, this is not a review. This is not me sitting on a high horse saying anything is the end-all be-all of a video game or anything in life in general. It's just me as a gamer having a conversation with my fellow gamers. I've pledged my fealty to gaming because I love gaming, so really it's just me thinking out loud and just trying to have a conversation, make some friends maybe. Who knows? You never know what's gonna happen. You never do. So if I ever say anything towards a negative on something, it's not me saying that a game shouldn't be played or anything. It's just me talk about my thoughts on something. If you enjoy a game, if you're enjoying something, that's all that matters. If a game brings you enjoyment, if it brings goodness to your day, enjoy. Enjoy, that's all that matters. That's what gaming's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring that enjoyment. So let's get in on the Chapter 2 of Fortnite, of what's going on. But let's just get a quick recap of kind of where we've been recently.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the FCS Championship Finals. Here we have Myth. Oh my god, late game, he is a literal trash can. The irony is ridiculous, but here he goes, hiding in the trash can, players zooming all around him. This is what Fortnite is all about.
Hate this game, I hate it. Hate it. Hate it.
They're bombing the battle royale stuff so that we play Save the World. Maybe they'll give Save the World a try.
I'm down for a while. You don't gotta tell me twice.
100%.
All right, wow, it is, dude. Run it.
Fortnite!
Yeah, I'm down. Fortnite! I don't know what they're doing anymore, bro.
My
I'll
chat.
tell you when I'm close enough.
You can see my monitor is off right now. All right.
Wait.
We will guide you. We will guide you.
More Fortnite. More Fortnite. More Fortnite. More Fortnite. Sorry, excuse me. What did you say? More Fortnite? Right here? Oh, sorry. More Fortnite.
I'm trying something! Tom? You just killed 6 people. Those things are not good for the game. That is all I have to say. Those things are not good for the game.
This is so dumb. Like, what is this game doing? This game is bro. Like, I don't care. Like, it's actually so stupid.
I'm about to just build an empire in Minecraft for the next month.
Maybe that's what people like though, because it's like over a month you build this huge thing, and then when you're done, it's like, oh, lit. You know?
Yeah. I feel
maybe that's it.
You know what? Let's do it, Tim. You and me. Nate, join.
Minecraft?
Let's Minecraft it. Legend 250.
Oh my God,
Chance, you too. You can come too. Fun. Think of the 1,000 embers. Brady, think of the 500 embers, man.
I don't even know how to install Minecraft. This is officially, now that mechs are in this game, this is officially a classic WoW waiting room. 100%. We're just waiting.
Did you knock robot? Oh my god! I'm never playing this game again.
I got 2 robots!
So, with all of that remembered, what a journey that was, a lot has been said from the I can talk today, the pro players, especially the famous people and everything. A lot has been said, and when I look at that, the reason why I want to re-look at that is because, really, if you think about it, while all of those people were really saying all that stuff and bashing Epic Games and Fortnite, they were working on this. They were working on Chapter 2. This is not something, what do you think, it happens in a week? No, this is something that clearly had to have been worked on for months. And some of those clips are from like August, July, time period where clearly Epic was working on this. I mean, there's so much in this that we're going to go through that you know, when you think about it, I really think that all of that could have been handled so much better. So much better. And with so much more class. You know, I can understand if you're not enjoying a game, you know, play what you're going to enjoy. You know, if you're not liking the changes that are being done in a game, you should mention it. You should, you know, say your piece. But screaming and getting enraged and just like, you know, really coming down on a company and doing it in such a public matter and fashion without just being like, you know, I'm just not enjoying this because X, Y, and Z, you know, have some appreciation for the company that has people that are doing 12-hour shifts every day, 5 days straight. You know, we've heard the stories of how hard these employees have worked. To just throw them under the bus like that, I just feel was utterly classless and, you know, not wrong in the sense of, you know, there were things that I agree, you know, could have been better about the game. But with what we're going to look at in Chapter 2, is it not all pretty much resolved? This is what they were working on while all of that was going on. So I just wanted to relive that and just kind of put that out there first that, you know, we should be better and we should expect better from the people who are really making a living off of what they're doing. You know, it's not about the anger and the frustration, taking out that anger like a righteous, you know, pious one of virtue and right and wrong. Like, look, understandable. There's things that were happening you might not enjoy, but you know what? Your bank account's growing by millions. You know, to just give up on the company and just treat them that way, I felt it was very wrong. I really do. I felt it was very classless. So now let's talk about Chapter 2. The first thing we have to talk about is the biggest change and what I feel like Epic had to have taken months to create. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it took them from like February or January to have this in the works of changing the entire map. Now, I've been staring at the map. I've been traversing the map. I've been trying to really get a feeling is it larger or is it the same size as before just with better placement and things? And I think it is larger. What do you think? Do you think it's larger? I think it is. I really do. Like, I've been looking at both the maps from like Season 10 and now Chapter 2. And it feels a lot larger. It looks a lot larger. You know, there's really like the same amount of cities on the map, maybe even a little bit more than before. A ton more points of interest, and by that I mean places where you can get a few chests and get loot without having to land in a city, giving more variable options for, you know, everything from solos to squads where you can get your items that you need to be able to get into your tier 1 fight of like early game fights, into the mid-tier fights, and, you know, you get loot from those people. So you can kind of start off the game where if you don't like landing in the high pop areas, you could go and land in an outskirts, pick off some people as they're traversing the map to get into the center circle and hopefully get some better items, you know, than you would have had before. And if you find it hard to survive, you know, kind of get better weapons to be able to survive better and kind of counterbalance that level of skill, which, you know, some people might dislike. But for me personally, I want the game to be enjoyed by as many people as possible. So that's going to help that happen, you know, and I'm really enjoying that. I really think that it is a very good change. You know, the map really needed to get a feel of openness and wideness to it, where you had much more varying options, whereas before you didn't have that as much. You had, you know, your big cities, but then outside of cities there really wasn't anything outside of cities to go and get that loot that you were looking for. There was like a few places where you get like a chest or two, but it was very, very rare, very, very rare compared to now. And then with what's added with that, the map, it's not just a map with its places and points of interest and everything. It's a much more of a living thing now. it really it has so many more things to it that you can do. So you get like the fishing rod. If you don't get the items you want, when you do have items, I notice a fishing rod doesn't get you like a new item. Usually it'll get you an upgrade for an item you already have. So if you have the fishing rod, you can get like a blue version of your weapons as long as you get to like a good fishing spot, you know, and that'll help you get the weapons you need to be able to survive those tier 2 fights and then end game fights later on. And then you have weapon upgrade machines now, so even if, you know, let's say you're not getting into a lot of fights, you're in an area where you're not running into people to raise a chance of getting those blue or better weapons, now you could just sit there and farm, you know, and just get upgrades for the weapons you already have, and get all the way up to like a Scar if you want, or, you know, a blue sniper rifle, which is really good right now. You know, every gun you have, you can get those better weapons to be able to have a better chance at survivability by the end game, you know. So you have those two options to really kind of help you out in the game itself, and in that, it really, with the whole map how it is, of all the area there is, it really helps for those time periods where you're not in a fight. You know, it gives more life to what's happening in the game, because there is more to the game than there was before. You know, you have multiple options now on alternate paths other than just land, loot, kill, hopefully get better loot another spot, and then go on. You know, you could just land in one spot, get like the first, you know, tier weapons of like the greens and the grays, and then sit there as long as you're in the circle and, you know, just grind your way up to the better guns, and then just sit there till end game and maybe have awesome weapons that'll help you win. So it helps to give alternate options on this map, so it makes it feel more lively, you know. And then even past that, other than just things to help you with your weapons, the map feels more lively in the fact that now you can like hide in a hay bale, or you can hide in a garbage pail. You know, it's not something that I feel is going to break the game, because they're not everywhere. They're only in certain areas, so it gives you something to be worried about if you are running through an area that has those things. It definitely adds another element of life to the world, since there's things you can do in the world, you know. Different than just land, loot, you know, build, fight. You know, there's different metas of things you can do and how to play the game, and giving you more options that don't fully change the whole game, like, you know, we saw in those clips, like mechs. You know, there's a change that brings to the map instead of brings to the game something that doesn't maybe feel natural and doesn't have like a very high level of strength to it that really can change things up. So it's like, you know, those things added to the map really helping out a lot more too, you know, a little bit more functionality. And then since the map is so large, now we have boats in it. Now, my theory with like hamster balls and stuff like that was they were trying to get the coding and the animations and everything that goes along with having a vehicle in the game down pat and beta tested and everything, you know, so that they can do something more reasonable like the boat. Like the boat is pretty cool. It's a little bit broken that you can go over land with it, but I do think that they were going to have cars in the game, but maybe have changed their mind. You know, if you look at the map, there's roads that lead everywhere, just like there's rivers that lead everywhere, and the roads have bridges for you to go across. So why would they have all of that in if there wasn't going to be cars? So I'm expecting in a few more patches, we're going to have cars added to the game, and maybe all the cars will be usable, except for maybe like broken down cars, like there's some cars with no wheels, or maybe it's going to be a certain type of car, so the map isn't overrun with cars. But I do feel like it is going to come in the near future, you know, since, I mean, why have those roads that are perfectly sized for what the cars are in the game? You know, wouldn't make any sense. You know, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be really cool. I think it's going to be, yet again, another thing added to the map to give the game more life and more options and more variable, you know, journeys from the start to finish, like everything else I mentioned, you know, with this amazing new map. It really is quite the addition to the game. It's really what they've done with this map and what they've done with the game and how much work that they put into it even though we had this long period of people being so heavily mad at the company, damaging the company at a time when they probably needed the support the most because they were putting a lot of work into a big and expensive change, you know, it's really amazing what they've done. It really is, you know. And then when you talk about the weapons themselves, I do like that they made this like reversion, like kind of like going WoW Classic with it. They went to the olden days with the weapons where most of the time you're getting into the end game with green weapons, which really in the old days, that's kind of what end game was. You'd have maybe one blue weapon. You know, you wouldn't have a full loadout of blue weapons, even though you do have things like the upgrade machine, you know, and other options like fishing pole to get those better weapons. You're usually getting to the end game, at least for me, and I'm having mostly green weapons sometimes. You know, sometimes I do get a full load of blue, but, you know, that's if I'm getting, like, you know, multiple kills in the match. If I'm running into people, get those kills, you know. But I'm getting to the end game. I'm never having trouble with supplies anymore. Never having trouble with the weapons. I'm usually getting the weapons I do like, although not fully upgraded, but it's feeling much smoother now. So the work they've done in balancing it and that reversion, to me, I think was a very genius move. All of this seems to me like a very courteous company that was thinking about the gamers and saying, how can we make something fun? How can we make this thing feel finished? How can we make this be ready for Chapter 2, the move into the new direction of the company, of the game, to the future, to feel like, you know, bigger and like it's growing, like it's not just the same map over and over again. You know, really everything about it feels great. And the map is mostly flat if you think about it. I mean, there is like, you know, hills and stuff, so you can't be seen from crazy far away. You know, you do have like a little bit more protection when you're traversing, you know, but really everything about it just feels so good. And this doesn't happen overnight. This happens over months and months of the developers working crazy hard to make something like that. You know, it takes love. It takes, you know, care to create something like that. Everything about this update's been amazing, except for the Battle Pass. If you want to see my full thoughts on the Battle Pass, go check out my Battle Pass video. There's not too much to it that makes me feel like, wow, you know. But I think it's also, if you really think about it, with all the new changes and updates to the game, the Battle Pass wasn't going to outshine that anyway, you know? But really, the changes what we have here in Chapter 2, unbelievable. And the Battle Pass, it's okay. There's good, maybe 2-3 skins in it that are pretty good. I do think you're getting your value. The pickaxes are I do like the jump down animations, like I was saying in that video. And the gliders are okay. You know, the boat one I really like a lot. I think it's pretty cool. You know, I'm definitely going to have that. So for the cost of what, $24 for it? It's not bad. With all the work that they put into the game and everything for Chapter 2, I'm more than happy to give them that $24, get me to level 30 so I have a higher chance of getting to the end. You know, it is a little bit grindy, so when we talk about the leveling and everything, it is a little bit grindy. I think it's going to be very hard to get to the end game if you don't finish every quest that they give. They are giving, like, you know, bonus XP weekends. I don't really know the amount of multiplier you're getting, but right now, as I'm recording this, there is a bonus XP weekend going on. So I do think they realize that, you know, because they see everything that's happening in the numbers. They're watching numbers, so they're watching how much XP are people getting, how much are they progressing through the Battle Pass, do we need a bonus XP weekend, do we want more people to come back to try the game. You know, they can watch all of these numbers and try and do things to work with that. Like even before, with all the videos that talk about mechs, there was numbers came out, and Epic said people are only getting maybe in a match with all the mechs put together 6 kills in a match with the mechs. So when they're looking at the numbers, it's, you know, it's hard for them to really see through the forest, you know, but it really, they're looking at the numbers. They're not trying to make something we're going to hate. I mean, the whole point of them is to make something we're going to enjoy, you know, and I do think they paid attention. They were working on it for months while all these people making millions of dollars sat there and just pooped on them over and over and over again. When I think about those devs, and I'm like, how would that have felt for me? I just did a 12-hour shift. I putting my heart and soul into something, you know. I can understand, get mad at the higher ups in these game companies, like with EA and all those companies. I don't get mad at the devs actually making the stuff. I get mad at the people at the top of the companies that are making the bad decisions to screw people over. But I don't feel like Epic's done that with Fortnite. I don't really feel like they're trying to screw people over. I think that they work extremely hard to try and make something really good. And really, Chapter 2, this is a home run. This is an absolute home run. And I think it hopefully will only go up from here and they don't make too many bad decisions after this. We'll just have to see. We'll have to wait and see. And I'll make more videos just rambling, you know, about that in the future. But really, it's great. I'm enjoying even the leveling up, even though it's so grindy. You know, I do like getting those metal things that pop up, you know, like you got like 4 chests match or 8 chests match, and you get these little pop-ups to kind of give you that energy and dopamine drip of like, I did something, yeah, you got 4 kills this match, yeah, you know, it's something that tells you you're doing good. You know, it gives you that, like, yeah, that epic feeling, you know, and that's daily. You can earn it daily, you know, so every single day you get to look forward to, like, yeah, I'm gonna get all this extra XP, just, you know, makes it extra awesome, you know. It really, it's a great game. It's a great game. But I'll leave it there. I don't want to, you know, jabber on too long. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about everything down below in the comments. I want to start a conversation. That's all these not a reviews are. These not a reviews, you know. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it didn't make you angry or anything. But yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Bye, everybody. Bye.